gonna make a Super Mario pixel art tier list, specifically looking at Mario's designs. He's been around since pretty much the dawn of time, so we got a lot to get through. Buckle up, it's pixel time. Woohoo! This video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. More about them in a little bit. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Robinson of Robinson Pixels. I'll only be looking at games in which Mario is playable, so cameos are out. I won't be looking at any that are actually just recolors from other games, and of course I'm only going to be looking at Mario's standard suit for the game that he's in. No frog suit or raccoon suit, whatever. Let's get this started. Alright, so I've got the Super Mario wiki up here, so if I miss any games, it's either because I miss it on here or because they didn't have it. First up, we've got the one that started them all, the sprite from Donkey Kong. Famously, some of the design aspects for Mario himself were designed right here for the purposes of readability, like giving him a mustache so that you could see where his nose ends and his face begins. That was a pixel-specific decision that then carried over into the art that we know today. I'm gonna give this one a solid B, because we couldn't exist without that one, but obviously is not the best of the best. Next up, the Intellivision sprite. I didn't even know that this game was on the Intellivision, but boy oh boy, D tier. That's as low as it goes. Don't care about whatever limits they had, that is rough. The Atari version. Now you can see with this one, his mustache is missing, and that was because they were being creative with what they had available to him. If we take a look with a black background, oh yeah, he's got a mustache and hair and stuff. He looks like he's wearing his underpants, so I'm gonna give this above a D tier for creativity. So we will go with, let's do C tier. Pop that on down there. All right, we got another Donkey Kong here. I promise it's not all Donkey Kongs. This is not all that. This is D tier. I don't even know what's going on. Yoink. Scale him up. Another Donkey Kong sprite. Obviously also another one that was intended to have a black background, but you know, props for trying something new. Didn't work out this time. That's a D from me. This one, it's another Donkey Kong. What is this? DOS. We'll see a running theme of DOS sprites, not really knowing what they were doing. It gets a D+, I believe, because I think it's so charming and hideous. So we're gonna, he's right in between. There he is. We're breaking the rules already, but I don't care. He's gorgeous. This is the Apple II version. He is missing the mustache that the little green mustache version got, so D tier. Oh, this just looks like a squished one. Remember, if they look like recolors, they don't count. We're gonna scale that one on up. Now, fellas, if you ever want to think that maybe you're not good enough to be a pixel artist, I want you to picture this, okay? Just think of that. This game got commercially released. I don't know what the ZX Spectrum was. Sorry, I was born in 1989. Maybe they did their wellest. In fact, let's go just look. Let's be fair. Now see, they had access to more colors. They didn't have to go and make Mario look like that. F tier for my boy. Well, we don't have an F tier, because really, any game that gets made is at least a D. Donkey Kong Jr. doesn't count because you're not playing as Mario in those. Mario Bros. We get some serious evolution of the sprites with this one. Look at that. They figured out how to stack multiple colors on here. He has an actual eye. He's got some heft to his body, you know. We're really moving on up. It's at least it's gotta be B tier, doesn't it? They really tried to evolve the character from what he was before. Look at those two together. They were doing something. Mario Bros for the Atari 2600. Nope. That is a no from me, because nothing about that works. He gets a mustache at least, but they weren't trying. The Atari 5200 version. What is this little? No, this is a D. I want to get. So sorry, D tier. Rough stuff down there. Look at that. You know, they were. Ugh. He has a head and a mustache, and his mustache is red. This is only the second one where they colored his, third one where they colored his mustache. Given what they were working with at the time, I know we gave a D+ to that one, but we're gonna give this one a C-. He's up just a little bit higher. What else we got? Commodore 64 version. It's got all of the stuff in all of the right spots. Color choices, not so hot, maybe C-, because that brown is ugly. That brown and blue, no, it's D. This one is even better. Here on the Commodore 64, same basic concept. They don't know what overalls look like, obviously. So points deducted for that. But the colors look better. Like, it's not grating on your eyeballs. So put him a little bit higher. What is that? I don't know who this little lad is, but he's not Mario. That's from Amstrad CPC. I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with that. I'm sure there are some folks in the comments who are like, you never heard of the Amstrad? And no, I haven't. Please tell me about it. I would like to learn from you, because I don't want to look it up. Make this one bigger. He's got a neck, and he's been riding horses all day. He looks odd. His hands are tiny. It's giving E.T. Atari D tier. Pinball. Can you play as Mario in that? Mario in pinball. In the bonus stage, the player controls Mario carrying a platform. Fine. Here's platform Mario. I'm gonna pop it down in that same B tier with the others because it looks like Mario. The colors are actually, I like that bright blue a lot better than the blue from the original Donkey Kong. It stands out a little bit more. So sure, you can be a B tier. Why not, little buddy? Golf. As far as technical prowess, this is a better sprite than most of what we've been looking at as far as making him look human. However, he doesn't look like Mario, even the Mario that was on box art and stuff by this time. That's not our boy. Sorry, Golfy. You go down into C tier. You got skills, but you're not Mario. Oh, Mario Bros. Special. Don't think that's a recolor from what we've seen, but by God, whoever picked those colors out. Wrecking Crew Mario. This is a rare Mario. Check this guy out. So the thing about colors and having limited palettes, it really makes it look like he's not wearing a shirt here. Was Mario wearing a shirt in Wrecking Crew? I didn't play it, but I'm gonna say he's not. So, based on the level of importance of colors, I'm gonna say they could have made any other decision than doing what they did here with his color scheme. We're putting it in D tier because I disapprove. Better than some of the others, but he should be wearing a shirt. Unless it's Super Mario Odyssey, where you get to run around in your boxers for some reason. Now, we're getting to the big guns. Super Mario. And by that I mean regular-sized Mario. I think for the games where Mario is multiple sizes, we're gonna count them together. Like, how are these as main Mario? As far as shapes and stuff go, they have learned a lot, I think, since that very first Donkey Kong game. They also were really conservative on their resources back then, so it's kind of famous that Mario's, like the bushes and the clouds were the same shapes, but recolors. But they even went so far as to make the character bodies, whenever they could, symmetrical. Like on Tall Mario here, you can see his feet and his arms and stuff are identical. So I'm pretty sure that was also to save on space in the system. So bonus points for that. You may be wondering, like, but okay, shouldn't we lose some points here for losing like the blue for the character? But I'm gonna say not, because this game introduced, I don't know if it was the first one out of all these 1,000 Marios that we've had, but this one had like a nice bright blue sky. So they wanted him to be visible, so that was probably a factor. Anyway, lasting legacy, huge impact on the entire face of gaming. We may not be where we are today had we not had those. These get A tier. Thank you, sirs. Some hideous recolors, some eye-bleeding recolors. Ah, now we're talking. Check out this golf. They made him look like Mario in this one. Now he's still a little too tall, not quite as pudgy as I kind of expect his character to be. His eyes are a little jacked up. I'm not sure what they were going for with that, but it is better than that other Mario just because They were really going for the true Mario, so we're gonna give that a B tier. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out doesn't count. You don't get to play as him. But you do get to play as him in the Grand Prix game. Famicom Grand Prix F1 race. You're playing as Mario, from what little bit of research I did. And apparently that game is the origin of this Mario on my shirt. That's his costume in that game. This is the first one that I have seen. Yeah, this is the first one out of any of them that has actually introduced shading, which of course they only did because this one's monochrome, but you still get bonus points for doing a cool thing that nobody else had done yet. I think we get us a nice, okay, if I'm being mean about the proportions in the others, it's not really Mario's body, so I'm gonna give it a C tier, but just know that in my heart, it's B tier. Super Mario Bros. 2. Now, I'm kind of struggling with this one because this is the first one that really truly looks like Mario, I would say. More so, like the modern version of how we picture Mario. This does a very good job of it. It gets bonus points for being versatile, like this dark blue outline that he's got around him works in front of a solid black background, like I've got it here. I like that he's got the white eyes. You know, they really were trying to make this guy look good. I will say minus points for his strange little squat version of his body, because his head is still freaking massive. And in fact, is it the same sprite from like his nose up? If I copy that and paste it over here. Yeah, I mean, I resized it earlier. That might be another resource saving thing, and I just didn't realize it. So that's kind of cool. We're gonna also put that alongside his original legacy version. Super Mario Bros. 3. You know, my bias is gonna show through because any of the ones where it's like, oh, I grew up playing that, I'm always like, ooh, that's really good because I remember it from nostalgia. I do have to take away points for the readability of this sprite in front of a solid black background. You don't get any of his hat, unlike the other ones. Also, I've never really liked, even when I was a kid, I didn't really like the readability of his hand. We're going down to C tier, because we know that they were able to make him look a little more Mario-ish within the same era. They just didn't quite pull it off. So, sorry guys. What else we got? You don't play as Mario in Tetris, I'm gonna assume. What is Alleyway? Oh yeah, I read about that one last night. So it's like a blockout game, but technically Mario is possibly in the little paddle that moves back and forth in the game. That's what he looks like in that game. I would have to guess it's like a white background that would be behind him, so it doesn't help a whole lot though. His head is weirdly little. This doesn't look like Mario. He looks like a weird little mafia man. D tier. He's missing that certain je ne sais quoi that makes him friendly. Let's look at Super Mario Land sprites right here. Look, this was on the Game Boy, and this is the part where you say like, yeah, but it was on the Game Boy, so, you know, they were really limited. But like, look how good Mega Man still looked on the Game Boy. He still looked like Mega Man. So unfortunately, they could have not done that. So we're going smaller. We're going low. I'll give him a C tier. Just because maybe this was an early Game Boy game. I feel like it was. So like maybe they didn't know how to do it yet. Tetris, I don't think you play as him. Golf. Hey, another Game Boy Golf. Yep. I mean, they didn't even get the shape of his hat right. We're going D tier because by this point, again, we're talking within the time. Like they could have at that point known how to draw a hat in the shape of Mario's hat, but they didn't. Oh, that's it for that decade. Whoa! Ad time. I have a full-time remote job, I run a YouTube channel, and I draw all the time. And I needed a chair that could do all of those things, and my old chair wasn't cutting it. So I cannot tell you how happy I was when FlexiSpot reached out. I'm now seated in the C7 Max. It's got a 3D adjustable headrest. The backrest, also adjustable based on your height. The lumbar support is designed differently from traditional ones that only support the lumbar region. By focusing on sacrum support, it automatically supports both the lumbar and the sacrum, making it more ergonomic. You can customize the seat depth according to your preference.
The 0.2-inch latex seat cushion has memory foam, so it is soft and supportive for up to 12 hours of comfy seating. The 5D armrest is the most important part for me. You need flexibility when you draw, and that's really hard to do when your elbow keeps bumping into an armrest. Not a problem here. You want to recline with a footrest? You can do that. You want some yoga time? Namaste. The chair's got a 30-day return policy for a risk-free trial and a 10-year warranty for direct replacement of any damaged parts. Use my code C750 to get $50 off at the link in the description for the best price. And if you have a limited budget, they also make the C5 chair, which is a good quality build with basic functions for adjustment. And FlexiSpot has launched their newest model, the C7 Morpher, which features a complete upgrade to the lumbar support and upper backrest. Links to all that in the description. Thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the tier list, where I'm sure all of my opinions are great and no one will disagree. Whee!
Look at the next decade. DOS Demo. Doesn't sound like a released game, so I'm not gonna count it. F1 Race on the Game Boy. Yeah, there he is. Well, that's just Mario. They could have smoothed out the curves right here. You lose points for that. Also, why is his butt hanging out so far to the side? He's got some class and some ass. We're gonna just put this down in the C tier because, again, they could have done a little more, but I do adore it. Hello, it is I, Mr. Nostalgia. Would you like to look at Super Mario World now? I would, because I like that one. I don't know that people are gonna like what I have to say, though. It's one of the greatest games of all time, but it's got some of the same problems that they had in some of the other games. Specifically, Mario's hand, again, is just a weird, like, egg. I see what they were doing with trying to shade his feet and stuff with that brown, but it just doesn't work. I feel, okay, new system, we're shading. I really hate the brown that's on him, though, and those, like, in his ear hole. They could have done a different color. They also could have made the brim of his cap the actual color of the brim of his cap. And you know what? I'm going down. We're going down to B tier. Boo. So sorry, I love that game. Okay, what else we got? Another Mario Golf sprite? No. C tier. There is a mini game in the Yoshi game. I don't know if we count that. Do we count that? I don't think we count that. It's not even a full sprite. So we're skipping on ahead. Mario Kart. I did a whole long form video where I drew every single character from Super Mario Kart World in Super Mario Kart style. And one thing I complained about in that video was also about the colors, because they're not too hot for the most part. Now, I will say that shape-wise, they did a lot better of a job here. They actually curved his hat the right way this time. He's got his nice little ears and such. Hands are a little small. So it's just a nice solid B tier. There you go, buddy. Y'all, what if I don't end up with any S tier? That's a little scary. Mario Land 2. Looks all right. Is that his little man and his big man version is this? Because that's interesting. The little version is like a new sprite and the big version is very similar. Huh. Well, they did put his foot in the right spot at least, so. And I think they did a better job with the small Mario. We're gonna give this one at least an A tier. It's much better than the last time we saw a little Mario like this. Yoshi's Cookie? What's Yoshi's Cookie? Tile matching puzzle game, blah, 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 Mario. Mario is a balanced character, so he is a playable character. Okay, we're gonna take both of these together. We're gonna say this is one of the Marios from Yoshi's Cookie, where he's just this insanely adorable little guy with a little bag or something. We're gonna copy this one. I cannot believe these are from the same game. Mario looks very scary with his eyes. We're gonna go B tier. Love that they shaded it though and gave him a lot of cool extra stuff. I can't stop looking. He looks so silly. Okay, it doesn't get A tier because I can't tell what he's holding. You'd have to tell me what he's holding. At that point, you've cheated. Mario's early years. Fun with letters. These are not good. That's not Mario. That's Luigi, who is possessed by a boo at most. We're going back into the D tier because you could have not made me see that, especially that. I'm not even going to click it. What the hell is this? I told you the DOS ones. I don't know what was going on. Some of my favorite games from the olden days were DOS games, but they didn't look like that. This is F tier, by far, below the D tier. If we had lower than the D, it goes lower. That's the worst thing of the day. It's the same game, but the Mac version. I love how hard they worked on trying to shade him, but not understanding that you shouldn't pillow shade, because his arms are very pillowy. There's just something very wrong with him. Okay, we're gonna do C tier because it's not Nightmare Fuel, and I do like how shiny he looks, even though it's not, it doesn't make any sense. Mario's Time Machine? It looks like they just squashed down one of those other sprites from before, but again, it's not good. You get away with having like weird proportions and stuff for tiny 8-bit, but once you're able to do real proportions that are at least logical and don't look awkward, then you lose that. His arm is swinging in his walking sprite. It's weird. I said that we wouldn't count recolors and stuff, and the Super Mario All-Stars sprites are just recolors from some of the older sprites. Editing Andrew here. I didn't realize at the time, but the Super Mario All-Stars Super Mario Bros sprite is not technically a recolor. It's actually an edit, I suppose, of the Mario Bros 3 sprite, but resized to the height of the Super Mario Bros 1 sprite. I probably still would have thrown it into C tier because, well, he still got the weird egg hand from, which was my main problem with the other ones, and the black bill of his cap. I do like the shading in those games, though. I think it's quite delightful, but I think that's where I would have put it. But I didn't, because I'm filming this later. This is the Game Boy Donkey Kong game. It's kind of a neat game. I haven't made it very far in it, but I have played it. He does look like Mario, but not quite. Something is a little bit off, but I appreciate that they were trying to merge like that old school Donkey Kong feel with Mario's more modern look. I'm gonna give it a C tier still though, because he's not quite there. Didn't quite pull it off. Because, and I'll say, he's clearly supposed to still be regular Mario. It's weird to change his design a little bit for the sprites, but keep him looking regular in the big like cutscene art. Go big or go home. Hotel Mario, more like what the hell Mario. I didn't squish it like this. That's what he looks like. I guess they accomplished what they were trying to do. If the goal was to make him look like a silly goober. We're gonna give that a B tier. It's scary, but it is Mario. Mario's Tennis on the Virtual Boy. I mean, it looks like him. Let's be fair and give it the black eye-bleeding background that it deserves. That's what he's supposed to look like. I mean, working with what they could, they did as good as they could have at the time to try to make him look like a tennis player. B tier. Y'all, I'm not gonna put anything in S tier. This is horrifying. Mario Clash, I like these sprites. I did a short with these ones. I don't like that he's not as vibrant as the other one, but I really like the shape of the character. Like, they got his nose right. They were only allowed to use so many colors. Like, everything proportionally about this is what Mario's supposed to look like. And also, you know, I know I was complaining earlier about, you can't see his overalls here, but that game only had a few colors, and the ground in it was like red and stuff. So if we put like a red underneath him here, yeah, you can actually see him. I'm going to give this an A tier because I think that they really did do the best job in making a new look for Mario in a new type of game, but still looking like Mario. Like, this is the best version that captures the art and the sprite that we've encountered so far, where the two look the most like each other. Ooh. Mario RPG is a tough one, because at what point do we say that it doesn't count if it's 3D rendered and then converted to 2D? See, this one, it's like the Donkey Kong games. They made this in 3D and then they just squashed it into 2D. But it is still sprites. It's not a 3D model officially, technically, because they flattened it. We're going A tier. I'm not going any higher, because it feels weird to give 3D a bigger oomph over the ones that were hand-drawn, because it feels kind of like cheating. But am I cheating against it by not going higher? I don't know. Picross 2, I had to look this one up. You are playing as Mario. So there he is. I mean, it's kind of perfect. What system was this on? Game Boy. You see how much better they got at shading by then? I mean, they did a really good job. It's A tier easily. Game & Watch Gallery. Looks like you're not playing just as Mario, so that doesn't count. That's cool. Look at this. I didn't realize Mario was like, is he playable in that? Bun Bun Mario Battle Stadium. I guess he was, and if he was, I love everything about this. I love the black outline. I love the shading, the colors. I'm going out here, give S tier the freaking motorcycle Mario. Look, it has highlights. It has depth. It's a good sprite. It's a really good sprite. S tier to friggin' Excitebike. Gah. Sorry. I think that's just such a good sprite. I love everything about it. Look at the freaking the colors and the dark and the light and the mustache and it's a good sprite, y'all. Game & Watch Gallery 2. I'm assuming there was probably a white background in that one. It's Mario, but as a Game & Watch character. Okay, look. He has a hat, he has a mustache, he has eyes, he has overalls in the tiniest little space. I'm gonna give it at least B tier because this hat has more limits than a lot of those under the D tier, and he looks more recognizable there than he does in a lot of those in the D tier. Sir, you get special treatment. We're putting you down here in the B tier for what you accomplished. Wrecking Crew 98. I'm assuming you were playing as Mario in this one. Again, we're getting into the perfect sprite territory because they were able to make this look more like Mario than Mario did back in like friggin' Super Mario World. Like, this is a very good sprite. Like, you see the small face here is still more accurate than the small face of him back in Super Mario World. So it's easily A tier. Let's see if we can get any more S tiers in this sucker. Demo doesn't count. Mario Party, he's 3D. Mario Golf for the Game Boy Color. I don't know what it is about the golf games to where they usually don't get Mario's proportions right. Like, he's not normally as chonky as he should be. But I feel like they pulled it off better here than they did. How did I get there? Like down here. It's a little better than the others. I'll give it a B tier, but it's still not ideal. By the way, if you're ever gonna make pixel art, don't resize stuff the way that I'm doing right now because you lose, the pixels get to be weird sizes like that. You get it all jacked up. So only do that for tier lists. That's it for this decade. Let's go to the 2000s. Paper Mario. Those are sprites, right? What was that for? The N64? Or are those 3D renders that they rendered flat? That wouldn't make sense. Blah, blah, blah. N64 sprites, etc. Sprites from the 64 era are flat polygons with textures mapped onto them. It still sounds like it's a cutout, like it's a flat image that they just pasted onto a thing, though. Like if you put a picture on a piece of paper. Now let's paste this over here and get a good look. Yeah, I mean, those are pixels. All right, we're saying these are sprites. We're also saying that they're perfect. Paper Mario was doing its own vibe. This was not supposed to be a representation of standard Mario. It's really good. This is such a hard game. I don't know why I'm letting this break my brain. We're gonna say Paper Mario A tier. Very good. The question is, can anything beat that BMX little motorcycle sprite? Hey, whoa, what is this? I don't know that sprite. Super Mario Advance, parentheses Mario Bros? They remade Mario Bros on the GBA, but that sprite is not just like a recolor. They made new sprites for this game. We have not seen a little Mario look like that. However, we have seen Big Mario look like this. Yeah, it's like, okay, it's almost like a combination of that Super Mario World sprite and his Mario 3 sprite in a weird little combination. Well, that's a really interesting thing. I like it when they just make new sprites, even though like most people who were playing wouldn't have known if they just used some recolors like they did with that other, like what they've done with some other things. I don't know, I like what they did there. I approve, solid B. Mobile Golf. Would you look at this? This Golf Mario looks like Mario. Isn't that nice? This gets to be up here with the other one. I'm gonna run out of room in the B tier. Mario Kart Super Circuit. What was that game? Oh, I had that game. This also looks like a 3D render that they sized or flattened out into a sprite, almost certainly. We're gonna just go ahead and it's not as good as the 3D render that they used in like Mario RPG, I don't think. I don't like it when they use that weird greenish brown in a lot of sprites. And we've got room in the C tier. You can go there, old buddy. That was a fun game though. Boop. Boop. Uh-oh. Oh no. You guys. I think we're learning something about me today, and it's that I'm a big fat sucker for really bright colors with nice shading, because I love this. At least the color scheme. This is as close as we've gotten to like an actual platformer angle that I would give S tier. The only reason I'm not gonna is because his mustache doesn't look like, he doesn't have a very prominent mustache here, and his feet are like really little for Mario. Like proportionally, those feet compared to like the original feet, very small. But this is easily for me an A tier sprite. Oh, I like that design and style. I love like black outlines. I love bright colors. Ooh, man, that's beautiful. Donkey Kong E. I don't know what this is, but it's a new sprite. I don't know. Why does he look like that? We're going in the D tier. Is it a joke? Maybe it's a joke. I don't know what that game is. Why haven't we had any Dr. Mario? Is he a unique character? I don't know. It's too late now. Aha! Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Now here's the deal about these games. I have not played them, and I have always adored their sprites. Now their sprites are supposed to be in front of, let's say, the ground. You see, it blends nicely, and they did that with this little gray here. It's called anti-aliasing. The only catch with anti-aliasing like that is if your background color is, let's say, black, now it looks bad. So I'm not gonna give this S tier because it's not as versatile as it could be. Or should be, I would even argue. But it is a very, very solid sprite that comes very close to S tier. And that's the only reason that doesn't rank higher. I think those are fantastic sprites. We got another weird squishy Mario. I don't know why this happens sometimes. That's not his real sprite, it's squished up. Go down here next to your brother. This is GBA. The fact that they were able to put 3D renders flattened like that onto the GBA is very impressive. And if we're following those rules, 3D render to flat like I established on some of the other ones, well, here we go. Sure, you know what? B tier. I don't want to count that one, but because I already established that rule on some of the others, there it is, but I'm making it really small. Mario versus Donkey Kong. I don't know why. In my brain, I make exceptions sometimes, because immediately this one also is a 3D render that they flattened. But you know what? I think it looks better because it has its own style. I think that's one of the big key factors for me. Like, that looks pretty cool, whereas the other one just looked like new Super Mario Bros, right? Like, this is a new render of some sort in its own way, and it looks like Mario, and I bet you if we pull up a screenshot of this game, I bet he looks great in there. Look how good that looks in that environment. That's nice. You get A tier. This one actually says in parentheses model on that Paper Mario, so we are not counting it because the rules are made up. Mario Tennis Power Tour. I don't know what we got going on here. It's pretty good. We're gonna just throw it in B tier because it doesn't impress me as much as the other ones. Partners in Time sprite looks different from that other one, but it's close enough to where I'm gonna still I'm not gonna count it as a separate thing. Mario Hoops 3-on-3. Why does he have sprites and 3D render? I like those sprites. It looks like a fully 3D game. Maybe that was part of a character selection thing, so it's not the actual playable sprites. Okay, well, what the hell. We're gonna copy this. What do we think, fam? Pretty good. Not a lot of personality, not lacking personality. It followed the rules of what it was supposed to do really well. it's A tier. Hand-drawn pixel art looks great. Good job, guys. Bowser's Inside Story. Again, I think that's the same as before. Maybe I need to be fair. And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get the same pose. Oh, those are different. Hang on. Oh. Well, well, well. I stand corrected. They did redo stuff for Bowser's Inside Story. It's not the same sprite. So where's his sideways sprite? Okay, so we're comparing this to that. They introduced more shades. They did better anti-aliasing. I think his head looks like it's a little bit of a better shape. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna line up these three. In retrospect, I gave this one A tier. I'm not gonna go back and change that because that would be not fair. But I am gonna say the Partners in Time version, also A tier, because it's slightly different and introduced more colors. And then Bowser's Inside Story. Overall, a lot more hard work. Hard work pays off, buddy. I still don't like that outside thing. Ugh, that physically pains me. A tier. Next decade, 2010s. Miniland Mayhem. Minis are the ones playing, so not you. Mario and Luigi Dream Team. What's happening with those graphics? So like that's for sure a 3D game. Mario Maker has a whole lot of stuff. Are there any unique sprites? Let's say that. I would say, okay, if Mario Maker were to have its own real like version of the character as the main version of the character, probably his builder costume. So we're just gonna pop it in here so that I can rank it. Fun decisions that they made here. They actually added an extra little shading layer to his eye so that he looks a little more 3D, which really fits into the vibe of Mario Maker. Anyway, it's still just an edit of the old one, but he has a new hat. We'll put it in B tier. I just wanted to look at it. Mario Odyssey. These are all just edits. Is that the last game that has pixels? Oh no. 2020 through present. Come on, somebody in the last 6 years. Have some new sprites. Is that really it? Okay. I don't know how to end this video now. Future Andrew here, and it turns out, yeah, the only sprite that I picked for S tier was the one from Excite Bike Bun Bun Mario Battle. Oh, whoops. Now you might be thinking the Excite Bike one got a little unfair advantage because that one comes with a dirt bike, which is inherently cooler than Mario just standing there like all the other sprites. And yeah, no, I thought about that while I was editing and I couldn't get that out of my head. So I did go ahead and do a quick little style study and drew him just standing the same way he is in all the other sprites. Looks like the rules that they use is generally 3 shades per color plus that black outline. And I really am a sucker for that style. And once I got him done in his big form, then I went ahead and shrank that down also because I wanted to know what a small Mario would look like in this style. So I did some little edits and got it to look as good as I could. You know, I gotta have a fair comparison to the way the other sprites were all laid out. And looking at these together, yeah, no, I stand by it. I love this style. So if Nintendo ever does go back to making pixels again, I hope that they'll do something new and unique like what they had done with this, instead of always just returning back to the well of the original sprites. Love those, iconic, but it'd be cool to see something new. Now this was the first tier list on the channel, so if you liked it, let me know in the comments who you would like to see next, and follow along for more pixel practice. That's right, I'll be looking at the main playable sprite from... I should have written this out first. I'm gonna start over. That's a great sprite.